This week on Days of Our Pirates, the Pirates try to avoid getting swept by the Cincinnati Reds in American Field. And quite honestly, they have not beaten the Reds a single time this year, and they've lost 12 straight games on the road in Cincinnati. So the Pirates really need to overcome the odds here, and they're coming off of a 10-0 loss in which they allowed 7 runs in the first inning. And here is Hoy Park, the Lord and the Savior. He is struck out, so not a great way to start the game, but it's just one pitch, right? I mean, it's just the fluke that we lost 12 games in a row. I mean, well, against the Reds in Cincinnati, and then we haven't beat them at all this year. It's just a fluke. I mean, obviously, we were just underperforming all those games, and you can tell right here as Bryan Reynolds hits a single, and that's the first hit of the ball game for the Pittsburgh Pirates with 2 outs. Unfortunately, Polanco's up, so you already know how this goes. Polanco is going to get the out, so that single didn't even matter. He should have just realized that starting Polanco in the top of the second inning would be more beneficial. That way we could just get the out of the way. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, here Mitch Keller is going to be the pitcher today. You know, the stud. I can't believe he's not an all-star. I mean, everyone on this team is just all-star caliber. I mean, seriously. As he gives it right to Park, and Park gives it to Colin Moran, who's back in the lineup, and that is going to be a double play. And as we watch the replay again, it goes right to Mitch Keller. Hoy Park gets it, and then right to Colin Moran, like I said, back in the lineup. Good to see him back as Nick Castellanos is up to hit. He has a .323 batting average, which is pretty good, actually. As he gets struck out, that was way out of the strike zone, but Mitch Keller is able to get him. And Anthony Alford is starting today from the minor leagues. He's wearing number 6, just like Starling Marte. I'm excited to see this man play as he's up to bat. And Alford, that is going to be a hit. Anthony Alford gets his first hit in the major leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates. As this one is crushed, it's kind of reminding me of Starling Marte a little bit. You know, especially whenever he was younger and before he started. He still was good when he was with the Pirates in his later years with the club. Except, you know, he started to decline a little bit. As Anthony Alford trying to pull some Josh Harrison against the Colorado Rockies magic. And it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it, as he really is just struggling right here. This is about the Pirates organization and the play. And right here, that is an out. Anthony Alford is out on his way to third base. Finally, as Colin Moran... he strikes out. That's not Colin Moran, my bad. But still, that is Perez. It looked like it said Moran on the back of the jersey. That is my bad. As we go top of the third inning, it is 0-0. Here is Ke'Bryan Hayes, the young superstar, who I pray will still be on this team in more than 2 years. As Joey Votto, he throws out Hoy Park the way it looks. Man. As Bryan Reynolds is up to bat now. And that's going to be a fair ball. It's going to be a single, maybe even more. Bryan Reynolds is going to second base as Ke'Bryan Hayes gets on base. And Bryan Reynolds, that was a triple for Bryan Reynolds. He's been hitting some triples as of late. He drives in Ke'Bryan Hayes, and the Pirates take their first lead of this series, 1-0. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, Mitch Keller is still in pitching for the Pirates. As this one is hit hard, and that is going to be a fair ball towards the corner of right field. Polanco gets the ball. That's going to drive in a run for the Cincinnati Reds, and the lead for the Pittsburgh Pirates has been diminished, which is to be expected, especially when we play the Reds, who honestly, they're having a good season, one of the best seasons they've had in years, but they're not an amazing baseball team. I mean, they're above average, but it's not like we're playing the Dodgers here or anything. We've beaten the Dodgers on the road more than we've beaten the Reds the past few years. That is very sad. As the Reds drive in another run, this is why Days of Our Pirates is a thing. It's a soap opera, it's a culture, it's a religion, and to be honest, it's a cult. And anyone who watches this video, comment down below, say that you are part of the cult, as Joey Votto is up. You know, he is just our father. He's been our father the past few years, Joey Votto. Mitch Keller pitches it to Votto, and wow, it looks like our father is going to decide to go easy on us, as Anthony Alford is going to get the catch, except it is going to drive in an RBI. So in a way, you know, our dad underperforming gives us consequences, but, you know, it's still going to drive in the run if you go to the top of the 5th inning. And Newman strikes out looking. Why has he not been pulled to the minor leagues? This is not rookie Kevin Newman, who was doing really well with Bryan Reynolds, outperformed just slightly. I mean, what are we doing here? As Ke'Bryan Hayes, he strikes out. And that is going to end the inning. Well, the top of the inning as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And Castellanos. That one is crushed. And this one is gone. Nick Castellanos crushes it. And he hits the home run. And just like that, we're back to days of our Pirates. We had to lead 1-0 at one point as Colin Moran strikes out looking. That is something, it happens to the best of us, but it happens too many times to this team. I mean, especially on like a 3-2 pitch. I know that wasn't, but just in the scenario of it being a 3-2 pitch, you have to swing the bat if it is anywhere near the strike zone. Gregory Polanco knows a thing or two about not swinging the bat right here as he is up, and that's going to be a pop-up. And Polanco is going to get a $5 million bonus for this one, as that is once again another out, and that's going to go take us to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 4-1 Reds. Base is loaded, and that is going to go into the outfield, and that's going to drive in 2 runs for the Reds. It is now 6-1 Cincinnati, as they are running away with this one at the moment. Even though this game isn't over, the Pirates are going to have a big inning next inning, or else this game is most likely over. And this one is crushed as well. And, Anthony Alford showing us why he might end up being a solid player at the minimum on this team with the diving catch, reminding me of Starling Marte as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And there's Bryan Reynolds, the all-star. He crushes it. That's a 2-run homer with 2 outs. Very clutch by Bryan Reynolds to keep this, a game, even though odds are the Reds are still going to win. But, it's still a game now if the Pirates pitching can just hold the Reds. Never mind. We're not going to hold them, as here comes in another run for Cincinnati. India drives in 1. He's been having a great stretch of games over like the past 10 games or something like that. Like, he's been doing very well. Winker is there to greet him, and he's up to bat now. And this one is gone. Winker with the home run. And the Cincinnati Reds are once again showing us why they took a paternity test, just like Lizzo says, and it turns out they're 100% our father, as Joey Votto, the true father, the father of our father in the Cincinnati Reds. He hits a solo home run right here. Absolutely nobody stopping him. Joey Votto easily crushes it, and all hope is dead. This team is sad. As Newman, who deserves to go to the minor leagues, diving catch, and it is an out. And the Cincinnati Reds are 60-51. The Pirates are 41-70. So they're 29 games below 500. Now we have Polanco over Altuve. That is very true. Gregory Polanco is better than any player in this league, especially that scrub Jose Altuve. As we go to the next game, right here it is. The Pirates have 1 run, and Ke'Bryan Hayes launches this one, and this one is gone. And the Pirates have the momentum, trying to avoid the sweep, but oh no, it's 3-2. Rodolfo Castro, and we got swept. I'm not surprised. We haven't beat the Reds at all this year. We're 30 games below 500, and we single-handedly put the Reds back in true contention for the National League Central Division. But now, remember how Anthony Alford was playing? Well, that reminds me of Starling Marte, who we traded to the Miami Marlins, and now is on the Oakland Athletics, as he crushes this one, and it's going to be a 3-run walk-off homer. And this is what happens to former Pirates players whenever they get out of Pittsburgh, as Starling Marte with the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 11th inning to propel the Athletics over the Texas Rangers. I miss Starling Marte, man, but, we traded him at the trade deadline of 2019 to Miami Marlins, who recently traded him to the Oakland Athletics. He's helping out his team right now, and it kind of reminds me of this play against the Athletics, actually, in 2019, our 31st game of the season that year, as Polanco, he crushes it, and it's a 3-run homer. I mean, I just remember watching this. This is one of my favorite moments in recent Pirates history when it comes to, the era of us not making the playoffs anymore. Cole Tucker was so excited. I remember this. Jun-Ho Gunn was back on the team, and that really seemed to be the glory days for the Pittsburgh Pirates, even though we finished that year with a record of 69-93. But compared to now, those look like the glory days. Like the glory days after the glory days of when we made the playoffs. But we traded Starling Marte. It was a good reasoning because we could still get young picks for him, young prospects. And we had a young center fielder who was already playing well in Austin Meadows. And he was already doing spectacular. He was only going to develop more and more. You could tell he loved the city of Pittsburgh and playing for his team. And he really was just our anchor to this team whenever he played. So it's a good thing that we have him. I wonder where he's been. Oh, yeah. We traded him for no reason to the Tampa Bay Rays, who made the World Series last year, who also took Tyler Glasnow, who sucked for us, but now he's pretty good for them, an above-average pitcher for them. But I can justify the Glasnow trade. He did not look good at all. I saw him pitch in person. He gave up 11 runs to the Miami Marlins. Okay, we scored 7 runs and we lost that game. So yes, the Pittsburgh Pirates haven't beaten the Cincinnati Reds this year. The players that they trade away for, sometimes they have a reason, except then they do something else shortly after that makes you think, well, now they have a hole in center field, which is exactly what happened whenever they traded Starling Marte and decided to trade their young up-and-coming prospect in Austin Meadows, who's also a center fielder, which just made that trade make absolutely no sense. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. But just like the former Pirates players coming out to perform and being some of the best players in the league, quite honestly, young and old, so are the days of our Pirates.